Hi guys, I am here in Mexia, Texas, and I am at a Confederate reunion ground historic site. Now I know that there is a giant battle about the Confederate and the Union, but the thing is, it's still part of history, and that can't be changed. There was good and bad in everything, but it doesn't mean that it's something that can't be recognized. So let's go on ahead and get started on the tour of this entire place. There's a really neat arch to the entry of this place. It is greatly well kept. Now, admittance fee is $4 per adult. I'll show you the sign here. The visitation center is closed on Monday and Tuesdays, but they do have a self-pay here. So if you're ever interested in touring the place, here we've got the prices. Here we've got a memorial plaque, Joseph E. Johnston Reunion Grounds. Established, I think I've got the enlarged onions. Yes, I do. Okay, I'm sorry about that, even though you probably could have read it better. Established in 1889 in Aaron, Texas. An era, that should read an era. They messed up on that. When Texas looked to Civil War veterans for state leadership, one of numerous parks on riverbanks or other favored sites that drew large, popular annual encampments, statesmen came to make speeches. There were operations by old soldiers, memorial programs, reviews, and concerts. In 1892, the camp purchased the 70-acre, that's pretty old, that's pretty big, 70 acres. Sold lots to shareholders, named streets for Lee Jackson, other heroes, for Lee, Jackson, and other heroes during a week of full moon each August. Members came to encampments, set up housekeeping and tents, shacks or brush harbors, entertained, feasting on fried chicken, barbecue, Brunswick stew, sweet potato pie, watermelons. Special trains were run for years. You know, the way that they wrote this plaque out doesn't make much sense, does it? Besides giving honors to Confederate veterans, the encampments were occasions for family reunions. Cool. I wonder where it was originally. This is the actual site. I wonder where this plaque originally was planted for it to be relocated in its rightful spot. Alright. Okay, let's go on ahead and get around to the interesting parts of this place. There are a lot of large oak trees here. They're very big. Let me show you one over here. That one's pretty large in itself. There's some that's even larger than that one around here. So you can tell that this place is old. They had left a lot of it as is. They didn't change much around other than to make it so that you could explore it, so to speak. Lots of big old trees here. I like this one that's way over here in the distance. That one right there. That one is really huge. And there's one over there as well. But you know me, I like my big trees. I've noticed that they've plowed a lot of this land out. They might be needing to replant some grass. We did really have a rough summer, so it's possible that the grounds really turned brown from the weather. So yeah, a lot of it's plowed up. Tons of it, honestly. It's just they've plowed the place up, but more than likely to replant grass. Over here we have got a historical sign. It kind of makes it rough because they do have it plowed up, so I'm having to walk on their freshly plowed area, which means I'm kind of sinking up. It really is freshly plowed. The ground hasn't even settled. Okay, so we've got here what's called a delight house, the social hub of the reunion grounds. You can pause and read it. It's built in 1922 on the camp lot originally assigned to the C.L. Watson. The Delight House was the location of many parties and social gatherings hosted by Miss Mamie Kennedy and Miss Mattie Watson. A.E. Colonel Humphreys constructed the house and gardens for use as the social hub of the reunion grounds. Miss Kennedy presided over lavish parties with abundant food and decorations. The single-story building boasted a screened-in front porch and 4 entrances bordered by gardens, rose arbors, and tree-lined pathways. So, Miss Kennedy is among that. Second from the right. So that would have been Miss Kennedy. The Mexia high school senior picture. Neat. So this is Mamie Kennedy. Neat. This would have been the Delight House. It was hand painted, the sign. And look at those cars. Very old cars. Let's see if this tree is still here. It's kind of crooked. There was also a bridge right here. Okay, let's see here what we see. It doesn't look like the crooked tree is here anymore. I don't see that crooked tree. Now, of course, the little bridge isn't here. Yeah, they've planted sunflowers. This might have been part of that tree. Maybe. This would have been part of the walkway over here. You walked among the stones. You kind of like possibly walked in between here. Oh, no, right here. Right here. That's part of the bridge. That's part of the bridge, or the porch. Let's see what they read. They've got a little plaque here. Well, it says keep off. But look here, there's pipes. There's pipes. Okay, so that was the bridge. The crooked tree would have been over there somewhere. So this is part of the bridge. It's broke down. Eccles Spring Pathway. Okay, we'll be going on that. And here would have been the foundation, part of the steps. So the cars would park like along there. There's something way back there. We're going to go back here and look at what that was. But this is part of the foundation. The steps, possibly. You walk over here and see this. It did say that there was 4 entryways, correct? 4 entryways. This would have been another entryway. Another porch right here. Yeah, sure enough. 1, 2, 3, 4. It was a small social. It was a small social building. Here's the other steps. So this was the other entryway. I'll go over here and look at these. July 1955. And can't make out the rest. They made it real fancy. Woo! Gotta watch where I step. Here's the other steps. And these are really old and primitive like. So this would have been the other entryway. So there we have it, the 4 entries. It was a small building. And so the vehicles would have parked like around here. They would have parked around here. Okay, let's go up here and see what this is. Pretty sure this really isn't even supposed to be here, but it is. Wow. One of those old-fashioned stoves. You had your burners here, and your little counter for prep, and your oven. Neat. Look how fancy that little backboard was. I'd once wanted a stove like this. It was for sale. It was a lot bigger than that. It would have been so handy having a prep counter right on the stove. Just so handy. You don't get that now. Okay, let's go on ahead and check out this trail since we're here. So as you can see, with the old steps, the 4 entryways, all this ground right here would have been the social building, the Delight House. It wasn't all that big at all. Alright, says that this is only 0.08. So we'll see what's out here. It's possible it's just a trail and nothing real to see other than you just walk through. There's a lot of other things to be seen here. We can go on ahead down here. This is original, except for this right here. This is pretty new, but like the stone ray is kind of original. And the cement is old too, though. And there used to be a tree in the center. Look how big this tree is. It's not quite as big as that one that I showed you at that one park, though. That other one was even bigger. Okay, so we completed that little trail right there. Was it anything to see? Okay, here we've got another trail. The Tehukana Trail, and it's 0.3. So let's see what's out here. They dozed through here as well. Turned it up. Gonna make it a muddy mess in the rain. We'll see if there's anything to be seen out here. And there's other things to see here as well. This is not a park. It's not a state park, national park, or anything like that. It's just reunion grounds. The original site where everybody would join together and just have peace with one another and enjoy each other's company, just getting over the wartime, so to speak, and finally just breathe. Yeah, if this ever gets packed down by foot, it would be nice. It would make it nice. It's definitely a broad trail. Very soft ground though. So they recently just dozed through here as well. Like I said, in a good rain this would be a muddy mess. The ground is somewhat damp, but we had a rain a couple days ago. Wasn't much of a rain, but it was enough to kind of dampen the ground. But you could still see that it's dry. So there wasn't much rain at all. Look at that really old tree. That was a big tree at one time. That was a really big tree. We'll be coming to the end soon. 0.3 is not very long. There's also a playground here for kids, and I'll show that to you as we go around and check the rest of the place out. I guess they kind of made it so that you could do a little stroll if you wanted to. A lot of woods surrounding the area. It could also be that originally there wasn't a trail right here and they decided to add one, so they just kind of plowed through and made it. As someone had walked through there, there was some dog stuff. And here we've got churned up some gravels and almost what looks like asphalt. I wonder what was out here originally. And here we are at the end. As you can see, and there's a fence. We're going to head out there and look. There might be something, a sign or something. Don't look like there is. What does look like is that at one time this part here was part of a farm. There's a lot of farms here. That right there would have been an entryway originally. So that explains why, this is broad the way it is. It's an original road. And the gate. So at one time you could have actually walked down in here. Actually driven down here, which explains what looked like asphalt. That explains that. But there was something else that was very interesting up here before, where like the tilled land and stopped. Something interesting I spotted. It makes me wonder what was really down here. Maybe a little bit of metal, but there's brick. Red brick. Or red rock. No, it's red brick. And there's an imprint on that one where it was manufactured. You've got bricks. So now my curiosity is extremely piqued. What used to be right here? What did that come down to? We've got fence over here. Maybe there was a house here, a little brick home. And when maybe it had completely sold out and they bulldozed it down, left some of the brick. There's some more brick. That marks the property line. And then like here, there was definitely something here prior to them dozing through. There was something there. It's part of a tree. Sometimes these places that leaves remnants puts question marks all over my mind. I reckon I could literally look it up, but I wouldn't know where to begin. Now, some people who does these explorations, they do deep digging and give you history and everything. I don't necessarily do any deep digging. I just share what little bit I know. My field researcher does studying himself, and so what he relates to me, I relay to you. And if he doesn't have much to share with me, I don't have much to share with you. But there's still some things that you'll just never find out. Even if you do dig, you'll just never find it out. Okay, so we are back here, and we'll see what's up with all this here. Now, originally, let me see, because I've got the map. Hold on just a second. Okay, so what they've got named as the Spring Pathway originally was called Miss Mamie's Flirtation Walk. Interesting. Okay. The Colonel Spring, a water source forever. I'll read it since there's shadow. The natural artisan spring on the southeastern bank of Jack's Creek is one of the reasons that people have been drawn to this site for hundreds of years. It provides a continuous supply of water flowing into Jack's Creek even during the driest summer months. These waters have been used by Native Americans living or traveling in the area as a source of drinking water for local families following the Civil War, for baptisms during the Penn Revival camp meetings in the 1870s and 1880s, and as refreshment during the Confederate reunions beginning in 1889. The 1920s, this water was harnessed for use in the Mexia oil fields by tycoon A.E. Colonel Humphreys. Okay. That over there is the pump house. We'll get a closer look here in a moment. Let's go on ahead down here and look at this spring. Cornwall Island. The Lucas family on the Cornwall Island Bridge in the 1920s. Note the name that is faintly visible on the support, Governor Cornwell's. Ah, yeah. I'll not read through all that. Community shows its thanks. Now look at this. That's here. And there it is. Right there. 1923. And it's still here. Let's take a look at it. It's got a reflection. Wow, it's got a reflection. Oh my gosh, it makes it look like it. That is cool, guys. That's cool. So look at this. And this archway's been here for all this time. They've got a scripture on there. Hold on just a moment. I'm putting up the map. Let me enlarge this for y'all. It's got a scripture on it. Okay, I'm not able to capture that. But it reads, I will give to him that is athirst of the fountain of the water of life freely. Revelation 21:6. Yeah, this is the Colonel Spring to Colonel Humphreys, discoverer and developer of the great Mexia oil fields, beautifier of these grounds, maintaining them. So in other words, this is a memorial thank you arch. It's very nice. Let's walk on down here. There's oil that comes out of that. Let me tighten that up. There you go. There's oil. That must be the natural spring. Which is barely flowing right now. It got that dry. Literally got that dry. But you see there's water in there. That is similar to lilies. It's on there. It's on that surface. That's the spring. Look at that. That's the spring. It is down though. You can see its normal height by the algae ring. So yeah, it's low right now, but it's still there. Okay, let's go on ahead and walk down here and we'll look at this creek. Okay, normally it would be, I would think, if they're rusted pipes. It would be flowing off of here. Look how clear the water is. I mean, it's mucky. It's a little mucky. We'll be walking down there here in a little bit. It's a little shallow, and there's pipelines that's running through there. See if you can see that. That would be for the oil, the Mexia Oil Company. Even though it's a little on the murky side, it's still clear enough to give a reflection. Look at the beautiful reflection. It's like, it's incredible. It's almost like a sea of glass. It's pretty in its own way. Even though the spring isn't flowing heavy enough for it to wash that away, and it hasn't for quite some time. This is all that the water is pouring out. Not very much at all. Matter of fact, that side is dried up. That's all that's left that's draining of it right now. That's kind of sad. The Texas heat this summer even done the natural spring in. Let's go on ahead and check this out over here. They've got a decently maintained flower bed here for the medium. But the Texas heat really done some damage, I tell you. They do provide picnic tables, which is good. We're coming upon the sign for the pump house. It's a really big pump house, really large. Rusted down decently, but those, unless they're aluminum, they might be aluminum. Wow. Oil all over the place. Mexia oil boom, mixing oil and water. A.E. Colonel Humphreys drilled the first successful oil well in Mexia in November 1920. Over the next few months, oil derricks covered much of the land around the reunion grounds, and the population of Mexia swelled within a few weeks from 4,000 to 50,000. And they were company employees. Wow. Mexia became the 10th largest city in Texas during the oil boom, with a population of 100,000 during the mid-20s. Neat. Provided a lot of work. A lot of work. People were grateful to have jobs, I guarantee you that. I guarantee you that. Okay, let's take a look down here. Hopefully we'll be able to take a look on the inside. The entrance is on the other side there. Oh, wow. I don't know if you could see that. Oh, cool. That's a very big gate. Okay, let's see if I can get you to see in there any. This is a very big pump house. I'm going to walk around to the other side and see what I can see. Dang. Can't see very much because it's so dark in there. And they have got it enclosed. And they've got it padlocked so you can't actually go in, which it looks like it would be dangerous if you did. There is a very large pump over there with 2 real pulleys. They're very large pulleys. I don't know if you can see that or not, but they're very large real pulleys, and that would have been the motor to drive. And there's 2 of them in there, and that would have pulled the water up. Neat. I don't know what these fixtures would have been, these cement pillars. I have no idea. There's a platform over there as well. I don't know what they would have been. Possibly part of the pump house. Let's go on ahead over here. Well, we'll walk to the end of this here and see what we see. And there's actually a sign down there. Possibly something that got washed up. Oh, okay. It's a little dam. They've got a little reservoir set up down here. We'll walk on down there and check that out. Let's go over here and look at this board. Okay, apparently they allow you to swim here, but there's no lifeguard and it's shallow water, so you don't dive. Okay. That's nice. The Navasota River. That's what that is. Paddling trail 5.2. Float time 2 to 3.5. The riverboat launch park offers an alternate access point. Well, that's nice. Let's go over here and look at this. The Bathhouse and Poco Club. mixing business with pleasure. In order to maintain a water supply for oil fields and to provide recreational areas at the reunion grounds, A.E. Colonel Humphrey dammed the Navasota River in 4 places. He built a community bathhouse at the dam located at the confluence with Jack's Creek. As part of the Humphreys' contract with the reunion grounds for abundant water at a minimal cost, he constructed improvements throughout the property, some for business operations and others for recreation and community enjoyment. This construction transformed the reunion grounds into a popular community swimming area from 1920 through the 40s until severe flood damage led to its demolition. The steps, dams, and concrete base of the slide remain today. The Pure Oil Company. A postcard. That's what it would have looked like back in the heyday. Back when they was really active with it. Okay. This right here may have been the pump house that's over there now. And the slide might be what that pillar was that I saw. The pillar that's over there. Part of the slide maybe. At one time. Okay, let's go on down here and get a close look. Anchor chains. Yeah, the water's really down right now. Yeah, there would have been a slide right there, maybe. Maybe. A lot of old cement here that's broke down. No, the slide would have been right there. You see that? Right there. That would have been part of the slide. That would have been part of the slide. Let's go over here and look inside the... Some of it's backed up right here. Over there's the spring up there. Look here, there's steps here too. Wow, I wonder how far down. You can't see the bottom. Wow, this is the Navasota River. The Navasota River right here. This is the Navasota River. And this is Jack's Creek. We'll walk over there as well. Actually, I guess I could have walked all along there, huh? Oh well, I'm getting my steps in for Fitbit. I've also got my Under Armour running, so I'm being calculated for that as well. I started my new challenge. Oh, there's part of the slide. It's inside the creek now. That's part of the old slide. That's a shame. Anyway, Under Armour has started its new challenge for the year of 2020 to get so many kilometers in by December 31st. Hopefully I'll do it this time. Last year I only got over 300 kilometers. Didn't quite make the challenge. Wow, you can really get down in there. So as you can see, it's dry right here, dry bedrock, but it's barely flowing over here. It's just barely flowing. You could even walk over on that side. There's steps over there as well. And over there. Maybe at one time there was a little bridge here. I don't know. Or maybe you just swam across. It's kind of a shame. A lot of settlements happen when there's a drought. A lot of settlements. This would be a lot higher with a good rain. Hopefully that will all change. We get us a good rain in. All this was set up for back in the 20s. It's amazing. And there's sand here. So you can tell it has also gotten pretty high. We do have flood seasons as well. I don't think this is exempt from that. Let's see what this reads. Swim at your own risk. Shallow water. Do not dive. And there's no lifeguard. They definitely do allow swimming here. Right now, it's been cold, so there's no swimming. And also, well, it seriously is so shallow. It'd be too nasty to get into. Okay, we're going to check this out. There's a couple of these here. Chimneys with no buildings. So you can see there was a building here. You can see up there on the chimney the roof line. So it was part of a building. That's a pretty big fireplace. That's pretty big. I wonder how big the building itself was. Over here is a cement platform. Hard to tell what this was. There isn't any actual sign for it, but you've got your steps. You could tell this was something for the way the cement is made, and they just made it into a picnic area. Let's see if there's a sign for this chimney. I don't think there is. Look at the stones on that. Pretty fine stonework. So as you can see, this is a really large reunion ground. Really big. Now I haven't showed you everything yet. So let's go on ahead up here. There's a pavilion that's over 100 years old. And it is nice. Look at this old crooked tree right here. It goes in all kinds of directions. That is so cool. Almost could climb onto that and just sit. That's neat. The Dance Pavilion, the social heart of Reunion Grounds. Several pavilions were constructed on the grounds beginning in 1894. The first, called the Speaker's Pavilion, was built by the veterans for their business meetings, exhibit of war relics, and to host guest speakers. Later structures were related to the contracted privilege vendors, including lemonade and ice cream pavilions. The dance pavilion was constructed around 1900 as part of a vendor privilege contract with the Mexia Pavilion Company to provide dances and concerts at the reunion grounds. The company was managed by James Carner, son of a Confederate veteran. In 1906, with the expiration of the original contract, Carner donated the pavilion to the camp for its use and maintenance. Newly restored, the dance pavilion has been modified and repaired several times throughout its history. Restoration for the building began in 1966, and it was listed on the National Register of Historic Places in 1976. This is the dance pavilion in 1900. Had a whole slew of people here. I want you to notice this little note. From July 1st, 1905. It's the general orders. I think we're all a little late. All members of Joe Johnston Camp number 94 UCV are hereby commanded to answer to roll call at the reunion grounds on Tuesday, July 18, 1905 at 10 o'clock a.m., provided with 4 days of rations, armed and equipped to have a good time. Leave all cares behind and turn yourselves loose for 4 days. Oh, shucks, I got the memo too late, don't you think? Let's go on in and look at this. Now, the woman said that the cement here had been newly added. It's not so old. I'm assuming that maybe was more original and that is more new. And that the roof had been repaired several times over the years. This is a very huge pavilion. But it is over 100 years old. They've got picnic tables in here, so you can definitely eat under cover. Have yourself a nice reunion. And just think, because here they provide electricity and lighting, so you could like set up a little table with a jukebox or something and could still have a dance. It's very big. Okay, we're going to go over here and look at another chimney. Okay, we've got here what looks like used to be a outdoor grill, possibly. That right there, maybe the oven. It doesn't read what it is. And then over here we've got the chimney. This one is seriously a wreck compared to the other one. But look at the stonework on that. Look how they made that. That is cool. Look here. The company that made the bricks, Mexia. Look at that rock. And this was definitely a cooking place. See that? There would be an extended bar with a hook, and that would be where they would put their pots for stews. And apparently there, a little bit of an oven. That's what it looks like that was an oven. This was a 2-story house. You see up there? They had a wood burner with a pipe. It was a 2-story house. I know we had just a 1-story house, and we had a coal stove. It was a wooden coal burner, one of those metal boxes, and Dad had a pipe through it, through the old chimney. This was a 2-story house. And by the way that roof line goes, this chimney was not centered. Here we've got the foundation a little bit. You could tell it was not a centered house. Definitely a 2-story. Man, what kind of rock did they use? That kind of looks like a gourd right there, don't it? Looks like an old pumpkin shell. Wow. They tried to give it some kind of an artistic look with the rock. They tried. I bet this was a fancy house. I bet it was. And there's the first story, the second story. You could tell with the tin. Yep. Okay, let's look over here. Still having to walk on this soft dirt. Okay, this would have provided water. It would have provided water. A little bridge right there we can't walk across. Now, according to the map, these chimneys was the home places. It's very much possible that little furnace right there had belonged to the house that was right there, which means it was a pretty fancy place. And according to this, 11, 10, and 12. It was Elliot Pendleton home site, Reflection Pond, and the Dixon Vixers home site. Okay, I think I'm missing that because it's supposed to be next to the bathrooms and I'm not seeing anything there. But that right there would have been the Pendletons' home site right here. And this right here would have been the Reflection Pond, which explains the little bridge right there. And just to enjoy the pond, very little pond. Okay, I've got one more site to show you. As I'd said, there is the playground here so the kids can, there's a slide and a swing, and there's a few picnic tables, so it's definitely family friendly here. And I'll get you to that other site here in a moment. Okay, looking closer at the map, that first fireplace that I showed you, that right there was actually the Poco clubhouse. So that makes a little sense. It wasn't a home place, it was a clubhouse. Okay. Confederate reunions in Limestone County. The birth of Joseph Johnston, Camp 94, United Confederate Veterans. I'm getting a little exhausted apparently. Beginning in 1866, Confederate veterans joined Union veterans. You hear that? The Confederate veterans joined with the Union veterans from the American Civil War for annual reunions to bolster being comrades, honor the memory of their war experiences, and provide aid to disabled veterans and families of fallen comrades for both sides. The United Confederate Veterans Organization was officially formed in 1889. So let's see, number 4, home site number 2, number 3 was home site number 1. Because there's the pavilion, and that's what I'd showed you. So that little thing didn't have anything to do with the fireplace. That was another place. Okay. Let's go on over here and look. Old Val Verde, a stirring symbol to rally around. This 3-inch ordnance rifle, named the Old Val Verde cannon by the Confederate veterans, became a symbol that connected Texas veterans to their Southern identity and the Lost Cause movement, which sought to bolster camaraderie, being comrades. That's the reason why I shortened that, because that's hard for me to pronounce. Sorry. Among Southern veterans, and restore the honor of the fallen Confederate soldier. Confederate troops captured the cannon at the Battle of Mansfield, Louisiana in April 1864. The cannon campaigned with the Val Verde Battery until 1865, when the Texas Artillery Unit surrendered at the end of the Civil War. But rather than surrender their cannons to the Federal troops, the Texas soldiers dismantled them and buried the metal firing tubes at Fairfield, Texas. Now this right here, you can see it's got the barrel similar to a rifle. It's got the grooves, which actually speeds up the charge. It's similar to a rifle. With the grooves, it speeds up the bullet or the shell so that it's got a longer fire range and better penetration. And likewise, that's what it reads right here. This artillery piece was the latest in weapons technology in 1860. It fired a shell that weighed about 8 pounds. See if you can see the grooves, which I showed you. And those grooves are called rifling. That spun the projectile through the air for greater distance and accuracy than a cannonball. That was pretty neat. And this is the cannon right here, Old Val Verde. And here she is, Old Valverde. (1862). And just think, on the inside of that barrel, these have the grooves in it. And look here, on top, it even has the sight. Look here. Look up back here. It's got the sight. Can look through here and down the barrel end. It's got the sight. Let's see if this is the fire pin. If you see that hole, maybe, maybe not. Reads US on it. That might have been where the firing pin was. It would be casted in now. But look at that. I'd say she had some pretty decent kickback when they used her. Would have to definitely stand in the clear as you'd blast her, so that you wouldn't get blown backwards by it. Here we've got 4 individual flags. So we've got the Van Dorn pattern battle flag. Looks a little odd, I know. In February of 1862, Confederate General Earl Van Dorn ordered that all units under his command use this flag as their regimental colors. Had 13 stars to represent the 11 Confederate states plus Kentucky and Missouri, with the crescent moon in the canton or upper left corner. It saw action at the Battle of Pea Ridge in Arkansas and the Battle of Corinth in Mississippi, as well as other engagements. General Van Dorn did not fight for long. He was killed by a jealous husband in Spring Hill, Tennessee in 1863. Although the exact number of Texans who served under this flag is not known, the Texas units included 6 cavalry and infantry regiments, 2 cavalry battalions, and 1 squadron, as well as a battery of artillery. The unofficial national flag of 1861, the Bonnie Blue. When the Convention of the People of Mississippi adopted the Ordinance of Secession on January 9th of 1861, this simple flag was hoisted over the Capitol building in Jackson. It prompted one witness, Harry McCarthy, an Irish actor, to write the well-known song, The Bonnie Blue Flag. This design probably seemed familiar to some people in the South. Similar designs had been used by English-speaking inhabitants of West Florida during their 1804 revolt against the Spanish and by the Texans in their 1836 revolt against the Mexican government. Just a very simple flag. General Robert E. Lee, headquarters flag. This flag served as the headquarters flag for General Robert E. Lee from June 1862 until the summer of 1863. Believed to have been sewn by Lee's wife, Mary Custis Lee, and the couple's daughters, the flag is made of rolled cotton. The stars are arranged in the bread of life pattern. That explains why it's like that. Lee replaced this banner with a new headquarters flag after the Confederate government adopted the second national flag in May of 1863. Although it is unknown how many Texans served in General Lee's headquarters, thousands served in his Army of Northern Virginia. And then the Texas flag. 1st Texas Infantry Regiment battle flag. The 1st Texas Infantry Regiment served in a series of battles known as the Peninsula Campaign in Virginia in 1862 as a part of the nationally renowned Hood's Texas Brigade under General John Bell Hood. The brigade also included the 4th and 5th Texas Infantry Regiments. These battle honors are added to the Texas state flag. By tradition, the flag was made by the wife and daughter of the first commander, Colonel Lewis Rigfall. The star was apparently made from dress material, so the flag was nicknamed Mrs. Rigfall's wedding dress. The flag was captured at the Battle of Antietam. It is estimated that 4,546 Texans fought in Hood's Texas Brigade, which included the first flag displayed here, 4th and 5th Texas Infantry Regiments. So here are the different flags, along with the national flags. That is so cool. Up here we've got a star, a single star representing Texas, and then like in different people that had been in the Army. So as you can see, the Union and Confederate didn't stay against each other forever. They had decided to join once again as a whole to become comrades. And that's the reason why this is called the United States. The North and the South are united. And we are a good nation under God. And as long as we keep putting God in there, we're going to stay a good nation. But if we ever completely, totally remove him, this nation won't last. I don't have a problem with the Confederate side. I don't have a problem with the Union side. I'm glad that slaves had been demolished, or I should say slavery had been demolished. The Civil War in a lot of ways should have never happened, and it wasn't all about slaves. The slavery had a part to do with it, but it wasn't all about that. But I'm glad that the United States joined together once again and became united, as we all need to be. And this reunion spot is a great reminder of what it was like when people joined together and had fun, forgot about the past and had fun. It's a very beautiful place here, and I enjoyed this tour, and I hope that you all did too. I greatly appreciate you all. I love yous. You all have a great day.